and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons. And half of us suffer from unfortunate amounts of allergy. Previously, after some various shenanigans over Ambier, Avernus, other places, unfortunate and not starting with a vowel. The Cupcake Coterie ended up in the Elvenwild because Omen Griffin said that was where the radiant energy bomb, very unstable radiant energy bomb, was going to be deployed at some point. They don't know exactly when the some point is, but they know that's where it's going to end up. So they kind of want to be there to cut it off of the past because, while using radiant energy to destroy a likely tainted ancient green dragon might be a good idea on paper, the energy output of this particular radiant energy bomb, being as it is the divine sparks of basically the entirety of the Azamar species, would probably do bad things to the continent, the entire plane, that kind of thing. Yeah, and of course, what Hazel, who does think occasionally, would probably consider is that if this place went Shattered Lands, and pieces of the Shattered Lands are effectively, touching on other planes, the Shadowfell is the closest plane to this part of the Elvenwild.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, because while Barnabas was checking out their defenses, which we'll go into in a minute, the others went on a bit of a foraging expedition to try to find at least 2, preferably 3, bits of plant life that would help make their own bits of healing work better against a whole bunch of stuff that does not recognize prayers from the godly, that kind of healing ability, and radiant energy half the time. So yeah, they got the first 2. One was easier than the other. One was adorable, hysterical, and terrifying in equal measure. I'm not going to say anything more than that, because I'm sure Barnabas is going to ask, given the look on some people's, Hazel's and Clarity's for the most part, because, oh my god, it's an archfey. Oh, Darvin as well. Darvin just, I nearly pissed off an archfey again. Hazel being, and
1,000-yard stare.
And Clarity just, what Barnabas has found from their defenses is they're doing as well as can be expected. I mean, the fact that they've all survived when all somebody necessarily has to do is set fire to their tree. They're keeping things at bay. They're mostly ranged, though, so a lot of your expertise is more on the front lines, so it's like basically you wandered around and went, yeah, you seem to have archers in the right places and nothing's on fire or being invaded, so I guess keep doing what you're doing. Sorry, I didn't think this through. And after a while, because given where the third of those things that would be really, really useful, if not specifically necessary, or they don't think, anyway, it might be, they don't know, it's going to be a little more dangerous. They probably want more backup. So, with the 2 bits they do have, so these guys come back a few hours later with, again, the Hazel with the 1,000-yard stare, Clarity just, that was neat. And Alice just being like, you guys. the shit you guys get into kind of expression on her face. And Rylan probably having a, the myths didn't say anything about that. Because you're basically the first person in your generation who's actually seen the Marsh Witch. You probably had some very different expectations of what the Marsh Witch was. That was not it.
No, it was not.
Yeah, these guys come back up, and Barnabas is kind of mulling with Cherie over, is there anything I can suggest to these people, and more or less coming out with no. So mostly watching Brandon chase Cal the Blink Dog around the place, because apparently Cal is kind of starved for exercise, but Cal can't go down there. It's dangerous down there. So every so often you get Plink, Blink Dog puppy just perched on your head between your horns, and then blink away again. And Brandon just, sorry, he does that.
It's all right. It's all right.
And yeah,
Barnabas will try to give him a scritch at one point when he does it.
They'll stick around long enough for scritches, and then boing elsewhere. And then these guys show up with the faces and flowers.
All right, what's wrong?
We met an Archfey. Well, they did. I was scouting.
Which one?
None of the ones we'd met before. Rylan probably has very different information about that one. I don't know how much of it was based in fact at all. But there's an entity in this area called the Marsh Witch. I'm going to leave the rest of this to Rylan.
And that was a very different experience than what a lot of the stories would have led me to believe about them.
It was actually kind of nice. In a unique way.
I'm doing better than I was. I almost pissed it off. I didn't actually piss it off.
Maybe we could stop calling the one. Maybe we could stop calling the one who I think identified as a her it.
Yeah, she was really nice. She was really nice. She got us a couple of the... And I'm just like pulling at the flowers. Like, got a couple of extra goodies.
And then there was the sleeveys.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And just Soul turns directly to Clarity.
If when we're traveling you see any newts, don't step on them, because they will probably turn into enemies if you step on them, and we don't want that.
Good to know.
An army of pixies that turned into newts.
There's an army of pixies that are going to turn any gray or squidgy individuals that they see into newts because of a joke that Clarity told. Tell him, Clarity, tell him.
So Barnabas, where does Governor Fortinbras keep his armies?
I don't know.
In his sleeveys.
And I keep in mind, I was watching from a hidden location in the trees, and this little thing, silent image, basically, you know the podlings from the Dark Crystal?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that in a hooded green kind of Yoda robe. That is the Marsh Witch.
Oh, okay.
You see those sleeves? She's out there looking pensive for a moment, then looked up her sleeve, then tapped her sleeve, and out came the army of pixies. At which point, Newt Army.
Newt. All right. Also, clarity. I'm pretty sure by the regulations that grew up and trained in, you need to have actually spawned to be able to tell a dad joke of that level.
You know everything about me.
Dad joke? To be fair, dad joke is not a thing that is... It's not an expression that's used in Elon. Dad joke?
I guess that's a Ravnican thing. There's this weird tradition that fathers will tell the absolute corniest and worst pun jokes ever. Like, a classic one would be, and short one would be, "Hey, Dad, I'm hungry," and the father responds, "Hi, hungry, I'm Dad." Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, Hazel, I get it, but keep in mind we didn't really have dads.
That's kind of what I was about to say.
I'm sorry.
Maybe there's a guild of dads in Ravnica. I don't know.
That would explain
Cleric
so
404,
goddamn
mental
much.
state no longer found.
Anyway, yes, as
This puts a whole new spin on the times my father would complain about having a stitch in his side.
I'm trying to get mine how they would have told it like that.
Because he was a tailor.
Yeah, I think. You know what? No, just no. Reaches into bag of holding, grabs hat, puts it on top of Darvin's helm of complicated languages, and foomp both of them down to about. As they were saying, that's the good. The Archfey was the good news for once.
It's the accompanying bad news.
Yeah, there's one more bit of plant life we need, and it's kind of back in the... You weren't with us when we first went to the High Elves Palace, which we left just before everything went entirely to shit here, which is kind of how Rylan even knew we existed.
Okay. Great.
Last time we went, there was Hazel's bitch of a now we know aunt, who noped out pretty much immediately when things started to go to shit. Tiamat's avatar of the time, who grabbed hold of me and dragged me into Shadowfell. So I missed some of what happened next, frankly. And according to what Rylan told us when he joined up with us, immediately after that, everything went to the tainted, shitty place. So we don't know what that palace looks like right now. But we're kind of imagining it's bad. But in their garden, there's a plant called Lady Luck. It's almost indistinguishable from a four-leaf clover, but if you're looking the right way, you will notice the differences. The problem is you weren't with us with this, but their poultices, their healing potions, even their healing spells aren't working as well as they should.
Ooh.
Particularly on the infections, poisons, stuff like that. We think it's because a lot of this stuff is coming out of either the Underdark or the Shadowfell. It's not taint, but it's still more than lesser restoration can handle, what most potions can handle, and according to Hazel, greater restoration is about the only thing that does it, and there's not enough people here who can cast it. So
And there's only so much spell energy I can burn doing that before it causes problems for us in any other scenario.
Anyway, the point is that the apothecary's apprentice, because apparently the apothecary's apprentice is all they've got right now,
Yeah.
sent us out for a few different plants that would boost what they're doing, target the poisons and the infections more effectively. We got two.
Mhm.
One we just found, although there were some rather unfortunate corpsey looking things that I saw when I was scouting, and I imagine these guys tripped over too. The other of the two that they did find, obviously, was due to the marsh witch, who is defending her territory with a terrible lot of some kind of waterweed that will drag you down and drown you. Something
Mhm.
about so that you can become a centerpiece in her living room.
That's
Do
never
not fuck
good.
with Archfey. Do not fuck with Archfey. Do not fuck with Archfey. Do not fuck with Archfey.
And they've definitely seen some, and she's definitely seen some of the Iranese, by the way.
Oh,
Mhm.
Also seen the big green scaly.
oh boy.
Anyway, the last bit, and apparently, while the two we have would do just about probably, the strongest of the three plants we were told about was Lady Luck.
Mhm.
And apparently there's a couple of those from what I saw when I was scouting under glass so they don't get tainted in the palace gardens. And I will tell you this right now, the palace is a problem.
Hmm.
It kind of defies description, but even for me, how best to put this? You remember that Drow city that we tripped over? And we saw a lot of the bodies and all the rest of it, but it was obviously really old. Imagine that, but fresher.
Oh man.
And some of the bodies are in the same approximate state or worse as the ones that we found while scouting or foraging. You'd have to ask these guys for more details, but I think one of the worst ones I found was the one that was literally in the tree.
Yeah, we did find that one.
Might have been a different that one. I was going in the opposite direction, remember?
There's also the fact that not only are we dealing with all of these squidgy things, the green dragon, there's also Arkin and his direct subordinates.
Yeah, they're here too, apparently.
And we have been continuously whiffing previous chances, so I think this might be Istis's last attempt at basically throwing him at our heads.
It is probably going to be our best opportunity.
Well, we've got to be in the palace anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best thing we can do is get the two plants we've got to the apothecary, because those will at least help, apparently. And see if we can get any information that they don't really have a lot of scouts left, apparently, but how are they doing for defenses, Barnabas?
As pretty much as well as they possibly could. It's all very range based, so it's a little outside of my expertise, but they've got it pretty much on lock. I'll be honest.
For now,
For now.
I think while we'll see what scouts, because the one thing they definitely can't do is have hunters or foragers out. I don't think there's a lot to hunt for or forage for out there right now. which means they might not know what kinds of wildlife are out there. But we can ask. It's probably better if we split up about it. Hazel, you know the people in the healer's tent. Ray, Barnabas, you want to go talk to them talk to Elder, see, because Elder will have compiled reports. He'll probably have some information if we ask specific questions. The rest of us, lock and load as much as we can, because we're gonna have to get there anyway for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
And yeah, I assume you guys hand over the bits you've collected to Hazel.
Also, the carrot with the eye.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so Barnabas sees, she pulls out this purple carrot and it blinks. There's an eye and it blinks.
I want to be your friend.
Isn't that just like vegetable Nothic, though?
Yeah, now I'm having flashbacks.
Nom 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 nom.
Please tell me you're not going to actually eat that.
You were the one that was underneath the dang thing. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's useful in potions of some kind.
Sure. Just don't tell me when it's in the potion, and everything will be fine.
So yeah, all of
be in all the potions.
don't.
Here, Hazel.
That is a purple carrot, not a red cape. Don't taunt the bull. Sorry, there's a thing in Alamavera. We don't do livestock of the kind that you're used to, but every now and again, Anbeer sends its nastier, more ornery bulls. You know how sometimes they can just get really, really feral, frankly. And they basically have somebody taunt it by flapping a red cape at it and sticking it with pokey sticks for sport.
Uh,
Of course.
Well, I mean, they eat it afterwards, but
That doesn't make it better.
no.
Sounds like a combination of hunt training and food tributes?
Something along those lines, yeah. I mean, keep in mind that Alzor High in specific and Alamaveri in general is all about the hunting of some really, really nasty shit. And Ambeer would have to put those bulls down anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
I never much liked it, but I understand why it's done, and at least it's not just any old bull. So it's obviously a big deal when there's one that's that nasty that it gets sent for food tribute, hunt practice, sport stuff.
That's fair.
And honestly, I can see why from a training perspective, but the people don't do that. The people take their young adult teenagers out for like summer hunts and will usually graduate through to different animals depending on the needs. They don't do a traditional hunt for like when you guys went with us for the moose and the reindeer, but for the bigger stuff they'll come along with the adults on like a yeti cull or something like that. One day, one summer, grand hunt. I think some of you at least would have fun. Please stop looking at me like that. It turns Hazel towards the apothecary tent. Go.
Already moving.
And yeah, when you arrive, the stressed little apothecary apprentices. Oh, hello. I don't know a polite way of saying gimme, please.
You can just start producing the required items.
Well, you got more than a. Oh, hey! These are good for. I mean, okay, we don't need them for the most part, but if we ever get to trade with anybody again, that'll be kind of useful.
Wait, which things was being indicated with the trade?
The blinking carrot.
I think those stun locked several people just from seeing them.
Well, I mean, it's not a carrot beholder.
Ugh.
That's a terrifying notion.
No, you brew them into potions of dark vision. Or if you brew them a different way, potions of darkness.
That's actually really cool. Provided we live through all of this, I'm very much interested in coming back and exchanging knowledge.
That would be cool. No pun intended, but no luck on the Lady Luck?
Some luck. We know where some of it is. It just is going to require us going to the castle palace thing. Somehow it's in the middle of that.
They were always pretty stingy about their gardens. Their glass roses are a cheap out, by the way.
Sorry, I heard glass roses.
They have a glass rose bush, and they think it's so neat. But no, that's just a cheap imitation knockoff of crystal roses.
We were told about crystal roses at one point, right?
Yes, Shattered Lands.
Shattered Land stuff. Wait, how?
There's a... Some of us are descended from a tribe of wood elves from there. Not that island. Different island. The one with the one with the dinosaurs. But our most intrepid traveled.
I think we encountered someone from there.
Your Wingy elf was probably one of them at one point.
Uh-huh. I think we also encountered one of the a further descendant of one of the original travelers who left there, because we ran into them on the other half of the continent in Ambir.
One of the thirds of the continent, then.
Third?
Elvenwild,
Oh,
Baronsphere, Equitas. How do I know more about geography than you and I live in a forest?
Sorry, I keep
You kind of forget the Elvenwild is there because you don't like it here.
I don't like it, and I also tend to equate it with just being on the same chunk of everything as Baronsphere.
Oh, what? Just because we don't
I grew up at a backwoods farm. I know maybe two things about geography, and one of them is mountains are crazy.
Yes, and because we don't have a mountains are crazy between us and you think us is you.
Something to that effect, yeah.
Well, we don't like our us, our in charge us, and you didn't like your in charge us either, so yeah.
He hit it with a mallet.
We're
gonna maybe help by hitting it with a mallet here too.
Well, maybe it'll be the right us and them or something. I don't know. Anyway, I need to start brewing things.
Right, I'll get.
Yeah. Meantime, Remy and Barnabas are in the elder's tent. The elder is apparently trying to calm down with some tea, but that's not really working. The tea is there, but the calm is not happening. How did your expedition go?
Good,
Uh,
for the most part.
Yes, I'm mostly asking her because I know you were here. How can I help you?
We found most of the herbs, but there's one flower that only grows at the palace. So that's where we're headed next.
I am trying to think of something inspirational to say, but you have two bards, so I shouldn't have to.
We just wanted to know if any of your scouts had eyes on it recently.
Not recently. We've been trying to keep them on the perimeter so we don't get blindsided.
That's fair.
We are aware that some of the local plant life is, and animal life for that matter, is. Yes, don't mention you're going out to Brandon. You may have noticed that for a breeder's son, there are remarkably few blink dogs.
Mm.
We still have some of the youngers, but the main body of our blink dogs are no longer. I don't know what they might have become, but we have not seen them.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, but in any case, the other issue is that some of our scouts have come back reporting webbing. Unsurprising given Underdark. But, all things considered, we're fortunate. Our scouts, well, the scouts that came back are fortunate in that they didn't see such things. We have had scouts that haven't come back, which means they might have.
It's likely.
Be careful. Or,
We will.
well, I just realized that that's a lot to expect from adventurers.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time we've dealt with trouble at the palace.
Yes, the trouble at the palace I cannot help you with. I was more discussing the travel that you will already reach on the way to the palace. It's still quite a distance away, and we are trying to keep ourselves together here, so we can't really send another rescue party.
That's really understandable. If we do see anything else out there, we'll send word.
Thank you. And with that apparently handled, meet back up around the elevator, because gods know you guys aren't going to be climbing down. I know some of you. And Alice is just... So, we good?
Mm-hmm.
What do we know?
Unfortunately, not much.
Every little helps.
And I'd mentioned seeing webbing in the woods.
Also, the something might have happened to the blink dogs. Out of character.
And
there might be
blink dogs might have been changed. And not
shit.
for the better.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you didn't need to add that part of it, but yeah. Oh dear. Okay. That's not good, but we haven't got a whole lot of choices here, so at least we know the general direction. Well, you guys do. I kind of skipped that part of the whole process.
Mhm.
So yeah, down in the elevator with the wood elves who have overheard your various bits of, we are going to the palace, or give me an insight check. Because they're all looking at you. Because of course it is. Not that she'd tell anyone anyway.
Nope.
Clarity registers there is some concern for you. Ava's more focusing on the task at hand. Everybody else, they really don't expect you guys to come back. Like they are so worried for what you guys are going to go through. And of course, those of you like Barnabas and Hazel, it does occur to you they don't know you're immune. So that's the bit they're more concerned about, not you being dead. More, we're sending out a whole bunch of adventurers. We don't know what they'll turn into.
Going to move up to Alice and sort of nudge with an elbow.
Yeah, give us a nod, but... And I get it, but they're not going to believe us anyway.
Point taken.
We'll just have to get back.
Yep. We'll elaborate on that when we're on the way, yeah?
Yeah, well, to be fair, the nudging is kind of when you're getting into the elevator, so when you get down to the ground level, it wasn't so much us dying they were worried about, guys. They're concerned about what the no, Darvin, the best you got was they don't think you're coming back. It's Hazel and Barnabas, Shuri, and Alice who noticed the full depth of that. Yeah, it's not so much us dying out here, it's they're worried about us coming back corrupted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And what the corruption would turn us into against them.
Mm.
They just have no idea.
And they wouldn't believe us anyway. Maybe they will if we come back.
Yep.
When we come back, but you know what I mean.
Why?
Yep, like I say, I was just about to say. But part of it is we've got so much to do. They're going to worry for a while. How much we can do about that?
Yep.
So, okay.
It's not as if they're going to send anybody after us.
Are they that bad off for people?
I don't think they can
More or
spend
less.
them.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. I'm sure he is. Well, if it weren't for the soul taint and the potential corrupted fauna, this is probably the closest thing to an actual vacation I am getting. Woodland hikes and so forth. Somebody had to do tension-releasing humor, and I suppose it had to be me. Shall we?
Let's go.
Yes, let's.
Okay, so I'm assuming carefully. Stealthy is going to be a problem. On one hand, it's dark, even though it's nowhere near night, and once you get out of the initial encampment, a lot of the trees seem to be not faring very well. But even with dead branches, there's enough dead branches to block out most of the light. It's dim lighting, so those of you who don't have dark vision can manage, more or less. But it's not great lighting, so stealthing might not be necessary. Plus, if you're trying to hide in a bush, the bush is going to make the noise.
And several of us clank and rattle.
Mm-hmm.
Or very big.
Or both.
It holds out a fist bump hand to Barnabas. And yeah, I'm kind of boned either way, so. But keeping an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, I'll take the trees. Try to keep a bit ahead. Rest of you keep an eye out. Don't worry, I'll be like above and off to one side. I'm not going far from you. I'm just not going to be on ground level.
Alright.
And very Neala Mobius perch in a tree, and then off to the next bit. It's kind of hard to lose her because even without the the radiant damage of her wings being active, she still faintly glows. It's just easier to notice in shadowed surroundings. So, yeah, perception check from y'all. Oh, Clarity. Oh.
Oh no.
You
Oh no.
get your freaking proficiency and you get a nat 1.
Oh no.
Yeah, Remy being Remy, because there's been too much, and the Shadowfell was the start of the too much, so she's more keeping an eye on Alice than anything else. Rylan is very much in what did they do to my forest mode. And Clarity, God's rest and keep her soul, is still thinking about Pumpkin Princess. And what it would be like to be a pumpkin.
Oh no.
That tracks.
Yeah. For the rest of you, it's Darvin and Hazel probably just ahead of Darvin because dark vision, but you guys are the first to notice there's an awful lot of webbing on that tree. And that tree. And that tree.
Guys?
And this is dense webbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those of you with
That's
20
more
and
spider.
those of you 20 and above, you look a little closer, and that's dripping black.
Oh boy.
Shit.
And the individual strands, all of you that did notice will note, are quite thick. This isn't spider, but spider!
Massive spider.
Correction.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. We got
a big spider. We're talking goo spider.
Oh,
We got a big old muck spider somewhere.
yeah.
Do not touch the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Just
the web
avoid
on the
touching
trees.
them.
The trees.
Yeah, again,
Yeah,
the two of you
That's not
20 or above are also noticing patches of it are on the ground too. And in point of fact,
Yeah.
Clarity nearly steps into one before Hazel just...
Babe. No,
What?
look, goo.
Pumpkins?
Darling, I love you, but look at your feet.
Oh, I have those.
You do, in fact, and
Yes,
they
but
are
look at
amazing.
how close they are to the
Look at how close
black goo dripping webbing. Clarity.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we don't want to touch that.
And then points it all because these are thick trees and this is all the way up the trees.
Yeah, what are the chances we're going to walk into the lair of something like this in the next few minutes?
Probably higher than we'd like.
From higher than the web, just about in the tree. Yeah, given how much this spreads, guys, I think there's probably more than one of those in this forest.
Yay!
Lovely.
Just what we need.
Oh, lovely. Oh, we get to go to the most interesting places.
Angry eight-legged obstacles, fun.
Darvin can almost feel the look Alice is leveling at Darvin. We're
yeah.
adventurers, you knight. And we're bards. Interesting places, it's our bread and butter. And terror and screaming is the peanut butter and jam on top of it.
So one way or another, you were going to
Really
wind up in
drippy
one of
peanut
these
butter.
locations, you absolute ridiculous purple banana?
Pancake.
Pancake.
Let's go for alliteration. You peculiar purple pancake.
I like that.
Work with that.
And yeah, I was trying to look for a way around. There's no way around.
The wall of this crap.
Oh boy.
Not so much a wall, but it's pretty liberal all over most of the trees around here. We could potentially skirt around it, but it would take the afternoon and well into the evening.
Yeah, we always
And
have
that'll
to
stretch our
have that
time
kind of
scale.
Yep.
Already as thin as noodles.
Well, we know to watch our steps. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm gonna keep those perception rolls for the moment. And yeah, it's Hazel, Ava, Barnabas, and Darvin from y'all on the ground. I was actually starting to get a little nervous because you keep seeing something out of the corner of your eye and then point, it's gone. And then something out of the corner of your eye and then point, it's gone. Occasionally you hear a growl and then point, it's gone.
You guys hearing that too?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And seeing that, yeah, blink.
Yeah.
And yeah, for
I think we might
Darvin and
be
Hazel,
about to find
those
out what
are
they changed into.
and for Darvin and Hazel, that's bigger than a blink dog.
Changed into or interpreted by?
Either way, they're bigger than they should be, too.
That's kind of what I mean. The gunk seems to really, really like, oh, that's what this thing I ate looks like, totally for realsies, except it's the size of an entire building for some reason.
And from top of the tree, yeah, you don't want to know what they think birds look like. Comes down just enough. Those of you who have played the Secret World, Flappy. Those of you who haven't,
Out of character, I'm thrilled at the reference.
those of you who haven't, I'm sure the Smeagol will find a link during break time, but what it is it's clearly made of the soul taint.
Mm.
It's got more limbs. It's got 4 wings. It looks like somebody mutated a ferret made it a bit more dinosaur-y looking, gave it extra wings, and then she puts a person to scale, showing just how big this motherfucker is.
Oh boy.
We don't want to know what it thinks dragons look like.
Oh god.
I wonder what it thinks gods look like.
Boo. This is more terrifying.
Yeah, and then back up into the trees. And what kind of marching order do we have, guys?
I'd probably be in the middle.
Well, who's up first? We'll put it that way.
I mean, Barnabas will do it. He's been on pretty high alert.
Okay, so Shuri wouldn't be like far from him, so that's fine. Because it's 2 people without dark vision that'll go. I'll have Hazel bringing up the rear because she's also been pretty. Ava's kind of middle ground there. Alice's up in a goddamn tree somewhere.
I would have been near Hazel because she stopped me from stepping into stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably be near the middle with Ava. Or near Ava.
Okay.
Probably similar for me, just trying to keep the middle.
More towards the front rank or more towards the back rank?
Closer to the front, I'd say.
Okay. Well, actually, that makes sense. You should be nearer to Barnabas because you live here.
Mm-hmm.
Remy?
Holding up the rear, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because Hazel is... What am I doing? Yeah, because Hazel's at the rear, but you can be kind of there, right?
We still can't see the map. If
Yes,
that's
I know.
something-
I know. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. I was going to ask Hazel, what is your AC?
Mine is without any
Actually,
bonuses.
I forgot about the bonuses. Can your bonuses take your AC to anything higher than 25?
Boots bring it to at least 18.
Yeah, without, because you'd have to click the boots for that to be active.
So I can only get a reaction in. Okay, so that's plus proficiency bonus. That'll get me to 21.
Yeah, no, because we're looking at a 25 here. So the first thing you guys notice, and I used to have... Well, it's not the best I could get, but it's about as good as I'm gonna. So I'll bring you guys to the map in a minute, but we're gonna take an early break because this is gonna be the combat's gonna be a little, shall we say, involved.
Oh boy.
Alrighty.
Thing 2. Thing 3. Yeah, so... I see you guys are on city maps. No, I want all pages. What the fuck are you doing? I hate what they've done to this. Really hate what they've done to this. No, how do I... Okay, whole party. Yes, I'm aware, but... Oh, I think I see what I have to do. They did not make this very user-friendly. I am just saying. Ah, there we go. Okay. That should do. So, yeah, Hazel is hit from kind of above by a large splatter of webbing. Which, at this point, oh, we already rolled the damage, right? So that's... "21 points of necrotic damage, and you are restrained." And
Oh, good God, there isn't even a save. That's terrifying.
well, for the initial being webbed with it, no. You can try to get out of it later on. But for the time being, I will state to the rest of you that Barnabas and Darvin know that that came from a tree. If you look in that general direction, you will see a very large black oozing... I mean, it looks like a spider, but first it looks like it has more legs than a spider should, but no, that's tentacles. And you're not sure, but that face might kind of have a humanish thing. It may not be so much what they think spiders look like as it might be what driders look like. And then there's growling. Direwolf size. You've seen these dogs before. These look bristlier and just plain meaner, and you already know, or at least have a pretty good idea, that they can teleport. And they are advancing. And now I will say we will take our break early. When we come back, we will roll initiative, and we will get this party started. And we're back in the middle of the woods of the Elvenwild, with Hazel currently being webbed to the ground and kind of made of owl. And I would like you all to roll initiative, please. Yeah, very, very quickly, just while I'm starting. Nobody got above a 25 for their initiative, did they?
Nope.
I didn't think so. But I thought I'd check, because dope monk shit equals holy.
Although Remy did get a nat 20.
Yeah, but that still doesn't mean she's top of the queue. That just kind of makes up for
I didn't know if
not being...
that overrode.
No, it does not override. Let's see, what do we got here? So this spider is next 420. That's right. Yeah, and your dex is 1, isn't it, Remy?
Mm-hmm.
So that's fuck. And the two A names are in alphabetical order. Alice's initiative was 25. Oh no, because Darvin's in the middle of that. Christ, I should just be asking. A lot of people rolled pretty well. How did the rogue...
I don't know, dude.
Okay, so that...
That was adorable.
I somehow skipped over Ryland's, possibly because I couldn't believe there was a 3 on initiative.
That literal second worst possibility. It's fine. Just gives me time to plan.
That's very true. And to see what doesn't work. So, one last real quick note. So that's... Okay. Right. So, very top of the round is Alice. What's she gonna do? I don't believe I actually picked that the fuck up. No. This is Alice. This is a good thing for
No,
at
no,
least
but-
one of you. So Alice is gonna fly down to here. And then I don't know because Hazel's covered in webbing, and I'm not sure I want to do a touch spell on that. So
That's fair.
and it's already, the condition is already set up. So what LSA does is touch Remy on the shoulder and basically just be, let's just call it web be gone. Kisses her on top of the head and she casts freedom of movement, which as a to explain, and this lasts for a fucking hour. You touch a willing creature. For the duration, the target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magical effects can neither reduce the target's speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained. The target can also spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape from non-magical restraints, such as manacles or a creature that has it grappled. Finally, being underwater imposes no penalties on the target's movement or attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you gotta get out of everything card.
It is very nice.
And yeah, we're gonna leave that there. Darvin.
Okay. How high up is that spider?
Just want to check on a thing. Good 55, 60 feet.
It is within range. Okay. Realizing Ava being behind me, I would like to kneel, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. I don't want to leave her completely exposed, but I also know shooting is a thing, so we're about the same height. So Darwin would like to kneel and cast Magic Missile at level 3, so that should be 5 total.
Okay.
So let me get back to where I click that for the damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 15, 17.
Yeah, this does not seem to be doing as much damage as you think it should be doing. Just as an aside.
Noted.
That your go? Bonus action, anything?
Yes, I'm not. Not just yet. I will hold off on.
You can't.
hold my bonus
You
action.
can't hold a bonus action.
Oh, right. Sorry, brain fart. Okay. Darvin is going to, as he's kneeling and having done that, look back up like this, kind of like this at Ava, going, "Don't miss, please, don't miss." Inspiration die at Ava, just looking like an utter goof because he's, like you say, he's like probably tummy high on her, just looking back up, going, "Don't miss, please, don't miss." Grin.
Okay, Ava.
Oh no, force resistance.
Did I say force resistance? I did not.
I'm going to start with Hunter's Mark on what he just find out.
You can more or less see that is a giant fucking spider.
Okay.
Oozing giant fucking spider.
GFS.
I just used the same rifle thing as before.
Yep.
Is 18 hit?
Well, now that you've declared it without using the inspiration die you got, no, it doesn't. And that's an 18 anyway, not 19.
I said 18.
It sounded like 19 from here, but anyway.
I've seen that didn't hit this. Can I use my inspiration this time?
You can, yes. You can use your inspiration when you want to, as long as you haven't declared.
So that's an extra what again?
Well, no, you have to fire first, and if you think it misses, then you can use your inspiration die. Sorry.
Oof.
There is, I will tell you this, I will be kind. There is no earthly way that your inspiration die would improve that. However,
I didn't think so anyway.
Yeah, okay. Roll the hand of fate just to see what becomes. Your gun is
Oh,
jammed.
no.
Your next action is going to have to be a bonus action. Will not unjam that. Your next
Well, I
turn
don't
is
have
going to
them
have to
anyway.
be, yeah. Your
D20?
what? No. You've done your 2 shots. That second shot, your gun is jammed. So on your next turn,
Oh, okay. I thought you said you said to me roll the hand of fate.
no, that I am above the gods. I roll the hand of fate.
Fair enough.
Your roll was a 7, so it jammed. It didn't blow up.
Okay.
Okay, spider. Okay. Spider. Okay, can everybody make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh no.
Holy shit, not 20.
Oh no.
Everybody within. I can measure this.
Oh no.
Everybody near Remy gets +3.
And the only person that helps is you, Remy, because
Oh, no.
It's already
because
baked into.
oh no,
Remy's
I know. The reason I say that is not because it shouldn't work for them. It's because the DC for the save.
Okay.
That's all I meant. So like
Mhm.
Barnabas, Clarity, Hazel, Darvin, everybody else made it anyway. You just made it. Ava and Rylan, you are now frightened.
Oh boy.
Oh, gotta love frightful presence.
Well, this is actually called maddening chitter.
Ah,
That sounds a lot less.
now I'm remembering.
And so yeah, it's gonna get down from tree. Kind of there-ish. Hello. I am in your face.
Oh no.
I have a Rylan. Nom 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 nom. What's your AC? Rylan?
Quick bit of 14.
The base roll was higher than that.
Yep.
Okay. So that's gonna be hilarious. See, wild mandibles. My D6s are getting to work out tonight. So that's 12 points of slashing damage and... Oh, really? Come on! It's not as bad as it could have been. 10 points of necrotic.
Okay. Could have been worse.
Ow.
Yeah, the BC go chomp. Right. Remy! You can see the dogs approaching. Just by the way.
She will advance on that dog.
Okay.
And then she will cast a Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay.
And she will swing. And then she'll swing again. That's right.
Holy shit.
The dichotomy of the role player in one fucking turn.
Mhm.
The lows and the highs. It's great.
And then she will smite it. I imagine this is an aberration, not a fiend.
This is neither an aberration nor a fiend.
No, it's okay. It's probably not undead either.
Nope.
I wanna put all my eggs in this basket.
So let's see. 10, 18, 58. Well, Remy has certainly taken a pretty good chunk out of Critter the First.
Oh, and the hunter's mark, which I forgot.
Okay.
Sheesh. What is that rating?
Yeah, it's still a pretty significant chunk. It's not dead, but it's made of owl, as well as goo. Hazel, you are webbed.
Yeah. My options for getting out are a save or just a save or anything else.
It's actually it's an action. It's a straight up. Yeah, I guess it would be athletics. I'll give you athletics. It's supposed to be a strength
that's
check.
kind of what I mean. One of those like tests, or is there any other way I could possibly move?
Not with what you got at the moment. No.
Gotcha. Nope.
Okay, so as you're struggling, you take another 3 points of necrotic damage.
All right. Since it's just restrained and that was my action.
Wait, there's not a.
What?
I mean,
Sorry.
no, but you're. Sorry, I'm waiting for you to continue, but I'm not sure exactly what you can do when you are. I mean, restrained. Yeah, I suppose you're not paralyzed, but depends on what you want to do as to whether you can do it.
I can see Ryland having just gotten bit, so I can try healing word. I think
you can try healing word. You can speak. It would just be if there was anything reachy that you had to do.
Yeah, I can't actually get over to him and touch him because I'm stuck where I am. Restraint and movement is no.
So okay, you want a healing word?
I'm gonna upcast it to third.
Okay.
Yelling, Ryland, dying is not allowed! With the last bit of that veering into halfling.
Just, yeah, okay, waiting on you to roll the thing. Good, great.
And, 3, so it's 5 more on top of that.
So if you're not great with the maths, that's 19.
And I regain 5 as well.
Okay. Except this guy is going to teleport to here. Because no, I didn't mean to move you. Fuck it, you know where he's really facing. Because we see Ryland, and Ryland is a snack. Apparently they don't like the wood elves around here. So let's have a quick look. I'm not even gonna ask. So that's 12 piercing, and you, oh god, you're frightened, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap. Okay, so 12 piercing and 19. 26 points of psychic damage.
Ow! Cool. Yep, I'm fine. This is great.
Because the worst part about all this is because you're frightened, the only thing you can actually really do at that point is run away. The mildly different frightened for these things is not attack with disadvantage. You just run. Doesn't matter how tricksy the terrain is, you fucking run. And Clarity is also frightened, I believe.
No,
Oh no, it was
wasn't
Ava.
me.
That was me.
Then you shouldn't have shot at all. Fuck.
Oh.
That
Well,
was
I missed
after,
anyway, so.
wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, because the chitter. You're right. Okay, good. Sorry, this is
Oh, yeah, it was right after.
all fairly confusing. Anywho, yes. So, Clarity.
Okay, things changed a little bit. I'm gonna if I were to try to cut Hazel loose, would that be a whole action or just an attack?
That would be your action. That would very much be your action.
And would that require a save or
That would require an attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, I will cut her loose.
Okay.
Hold on. And attack roll. 22.
Yeah. Over the next few seconds, you manage to cut her free from this oozing monstrosity. And one thing you will notice while you're doing that is that, yeah, if you guys didn't have immunity, she'd be well and truly tainted by this point.
And
So yeah,
don't-
you'd have to now be over there. Well, no, because Hazel's
Okay.
right there. What am I talking about? Sorry.
It's okay.
Having a day.
And what's the terrain like? Is there any kind of like things I can hide behind?
There's trees, but they're covered in that webbing.
Okay.
If you get too close to them, there's going to be a problem.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much else I can do, I don't think. So that'll be my turn.
Okay, so now we have Cherie. Well, her go-to is pretty much the same as always. She's not particularly fond of the spider being so near, and it does seem to be the predominant problem. And what am one saving? Yes. Okay. Finally, my dice roll shit. So yeah, we have hold monster.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the end of that. Barnabas, you know, by this point you're starting to get some idea of which charms on her charm bracelet mean which spell, so you know what she just did to that spider.
Oh yeah, and it's time to fuck it up.
Please.
Yeah, so we're gonna manifest the echo directly behind it as the bonus action.
Okay, if you do that, it vanishes.
Oh, okay, then just next to it, like there.
No. First of all, you don't know that, and second of all, the entire terrain around I mean, you don't know this because you can't see this because
right.
your vision in dim lighting isn't great. But you manifest the echo as you always have, and something hurts it and it dies.
Well, yeah. Fine. All right. If it wants to play, if we're going to play those kind of games.
Sorry, I have. No, we'll deal with that later. Barnabas, by all means, continue.
Is using action surge? That's not a bonus action too, right?
Don't think so. No.
It doesn't say it is. So.
No.
Okay. Well, then we'll just go for course blend instead of Julienne, and we swing at it 4 times instead of 6.
Okay. 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 Oh, no, wait, sorry. That last one missed.
Okay.
Attack number 3 missed.
I have no idea how to turn it off automatically rolling the damage, so...
And it doesn't matter, it's fine. And that wasn't because it was showing the damage, it was just because I nodded an okay, and then I realized, wait, no, its AC is a little higher than that, so let's do some mathematics. So that's... 6... Yeah, the radiant's hurting it pretty damn bad. The slashing, paybacks is not helping you as much as it should be. So Rylan, you are made of ow, and you are terrified, and you have to run away now. 30 feet in a direction that is away, and it doesn't matter if it's hostile terrain or anything like that. So which direction would you like to be running in, and understanding that you are opening yourself up to at least 1 attack of opportunity? 2, actually, because the spider's right fucking there. Oh, shit. Oh, no, wait. The spiders hold monster. You're fine. On that score, anyway.
30 feet, if I'm counting the squares right, puts me here?
Yes. Sorry, your AC again is?
14.
Shitballs. Shitballs just hit you. Just. Okay. So... That's cocked. 6 piercing and... 6 piercing and 24 psychic.
Yep. This is a state I am in. Am I allowed to still do other things, or is that just...
No, you're focused on away.
Great.
Focus on away.
Then... guess that's it.
I actually forgot about doggy number 2. This is a hand of fate time. Yeah, no, it would appear that they've been going after wood elves for so long. Number 2. Point.
Oh.
Not even going to. I mean, I remember your AC anyway, and that was a natural 17 on the dice. That's 4 piercing and. That's cocked. 16. 21 points of psychic damage. You still upright?
If Hazel had not healed me, I would not be right now.
Oh, jeez.
Right, we are at the top of the round, and we could theoretically finish off that motherfucker, but no. What we're going to do instead is we are going to fly over you, you little asshole. And we are going to make some noise. Okay, so that's... Oh, those are out there. So that's... Okay. Number 2. Puh. And fuck it, we are going to spend a key point and we are going to unload radiant damage right into this thing's face. Yes. Yeah, so Rylan, running, terrified of just about everything at this point, winds up with Alice basically directly next to them. And Remy did well, but she takes this fucking thing apart. It really is just shunk shunk. And then yeah, okay, that's when I forgot about this part. So how far is that? 10-foot radius, so that's Hazel, Clarity, Alice, obviously, Rylan, and Remy. Could you all make me dex saves, please?
Oh no, Rylan.
Could have been worse. Could have been a 1 on the die. It was in fact a 2.
Oh no.
Hazel?
That is a 7.
No.
I do not have a dex.
Oh no.
Okay, so now I need to roll some more dice.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Remy,
Potions that can predict.
Remy, Clarity, and Alice take 5 points of necrotic damage. Hazel and Rylan take 9.
I have evasion, so I'm taking none.
Gotcha.
If I succeeded on my deck save.
Yes. That's why you took the half damage, remember?
Yeah, but I have evasion.
Yes, I know, but sorry, what I meant to say was I was getting to that. If I gave you a lower number than the people who failed the roll, it means you succeeded in the roll.
Okay,
Sorry,
I understand that.
But yeah, no, I was saying, yeah, good job.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't debating your need to use evasion. I was going, cool, I'm not responsible for what your hit points say on your character sheet, so.
Okay.
It's good, it's awesome. I just feel really bad for Rylan.
Yeah.
The thing is that these things have been hunting the wood elves.
Mm.
I understand.
And yeah, look, I as the DM am allowed to feel bad. The monsters may know what they're doing, but they're assholes. I have to play assholes a lot. At which point, Alice is like, just be careful when you kill them. Ew!
Oh, great! They explode.
Darvin.
Okay. So, okay. All right. I am going to. So we have just the spider and this one dog left, right?
Yes, because that one is
Is
yeah, that one's a. To be fair, that one is a pile of goo. It's actually a puddle right now.
fair.
And no, I mean it literally, as in there
As
is
in, don't step in it.
Yeah, there is a 10-foot radius puddle of do not step there.
Lovely. So I think there's space between the spider and the dog for me to step into, north of the dog.
Why is that?
If I'm looking at that correctly.
You
The
could,
right
yeah, you could theoretically, yes. Rectangle. That's what I was looking for. Idiotic thing, right? Sorry, I'm just demarcating the spot you should not be walking in. Right? Okay. Yes.
Got you. So I would like to step there. I don't know if I can. Can I do the?
You're sort of squeezing past legs. Many legs.
And and I would like to take a couple of swings at it.
Okay.
Because I am sick of this thing, and yeah. Where's my rapier? There it is. So, first attack, 27.
That hits. Doesn't do quite as much
Second
damage
attack.
as you think it should, but it hits.
Uh,
Sorry, the second attack isn't turning up right now.
no, I haven't clicked it yet.
Oh, okay.
All right. Second.
That definitely
That
misses.
misses.
That misses so hard.
Yeah, it very much does. And bonus action, looking at Barnabas, and saying, basically just go, fine grind this motherfucker, pointing at the puppy, and throwing an inspiration die at Barnabas.
Cool.
Oh, sorry.
So I think
Wait,
I have one left. I can throw at somebody.
I'm going to be kind to you because this is my bad. Roll another time on the rapier because you just attacked a whole monstered creature. So you should at least have
I was
advantage.
on the puppy.
Oh, you were on the puppy. Oh, okay.
No, on the puppy.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
Okay, so and that one. Well, yeah, you still you. Okay, good. It's still on its feet, just about. Barely. It's not very happy.
So then the bonus action was throwing the inspiration die on Barnabas. And going, fine grind this motherfucker.
Another wisdom save on Spider Dude. Nope, you're still rolling shit, and Cherie dominates. Remy.
My lady. That's my lady.
Remy.
Nope. Remy will advance to the spider.
5, 10.
I think Ava was next.
And it being locked down.
No, you're quite right. But Ava, to be fair, the only thing for Ava I would have happily skipped that because the only thing she can do at this point is run away and open herself up to an attack of opportunity by the doggy. I was going to streamline that by having her petrified with fear, but nope. Okay,
That's fine.
To be fair.
pick. Yeah, no, that's fine. Pick a direction.
I was hoping to sort of go next to Rylan, but that probably counts as going closer to it.
No, because
Which is a no-go?
5, 10, 50, you're moving. Well, no, actually, you're right. 'Cause that's the spider, so
Yeah,
you'd have to be
That's what I
5,
thought.
10, 15, 20, and you're in the trees. So,
Oh,
well, I mean, first of all, let's see if really battered puppy gets his claws into you. What's your AC?
14.
Fuck. That's 6 points of piercing and 18 points of psychic damage. And while you're doing that, can you make me a dex save, please?
1 sec. Save.
You managed not to step in any of the webbing that's there.
Okay.
Okay, Remy is at the spider. And actually,
18 and 6, you said. Yeah, 24.
yeah. I'm gonna leave that there for now, but be careful of your movement, is all I will say to Remy.
She'll attack the stuck spider.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously.
What the?
Okay.
And she'll smite it with
Okay.
that hit.
Yeah, the spider is not looking particularly well, but for something that is really angrily being pinned to the spot, it's still healthy-ish. Hazel.
Oh boy. I am very glad Ryland's still alive. Let's see. Kind of want the source of the screaming yikes to go away. So, spider. All I can say is flashbang out because I'm firing a guiding bolt at it. Upcast to, I'm gonna say 4th level.
Okay.
And that's, since it's paralyzed, it's with advantage, right?
Oh, yep. How do you want to do this?
Just the equivalent of, hey, you multi-legged freak! Flashbang! And just light, out of hand, hits it, detonates like a grenade in its face.
Well, it literally has to do that anyway, because, Remy,
Oh yeah, big
Barnabas,
explosion. So not only does radiant bomb go
Darvin,
off in its face.
and honestly, Barnabas is shielding the much smaller Sharif from all of this, thankfully. But can you guys make me dex saves, please?
Oh boy. Oh.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Remy
Only a
has
10.
Shield Master. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, so real high.
Remy takes no damage.
Yes.
Barnabas takes 4 points of necrotic damage. And Darvin takes 8.
I mean, the frightened effects were not worn off now.
Yes, so the frightened effects are gone, and you realize just how close you came to literally face first into webbing.
Whoa.
Okay, and all that remains is this rather battered pupper. Which unfortunately got its teleport back. Wait. Hello.
Oh, lords.
But hey, the damage is reduced now because Ryland's not frightened with a capital F anymore. Fuck. That's 7 points of piercing damage.
That's it?
Yeah. Because you're not frightened anymore. The extra psychic damage only came because you were frightened. With a capital F. That didn't hurt.
Oh.
Didn't hurt. All you really know, though, is that didn't hurt nearly as bad as the other ones. But given...
This is why fighting these things is fun.
Given what your health is like right now, you might be worried about nerve damage for all I know.
I mean, I'm still up.
Clarity.
All right, I'm gonna go, excuse me, darling, and move right next to that. And
If you move there, there's more flanking, so you just skirt around the puddle of problem.
and I will take a stab at it.
By all means.
16.
No.
Second attack.
That
23.
hits.
And since it is engaged with roll damage.
You don't have to
5
anyway.
damage. All right.
So and it's Rylan and Clarity. Can y'all make me dex saves, please?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, more than a 7.
Oh no!
You asked too much.
The frustration of being an organic. I feel your pain.
Clarity has evasion. Rylan takes 5 points of necrotic damage.
That was the exact amount of health I have left. Down.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Thankfully, you have Alice just sort of kneel. You did a little point on the forehead. Hello. You are getting 10 points out of her healing hands.
Is it dead?
Yes, but at which point she just sort of scoops Rylan up, like practically bridal carry, just to get them the hell away from the puddles. Just in case.
Yeah, they explode, and that really sucks.
Ow.
Yeah, we probably have yes, we have potions that something about taste testing for flavor, so
Right. Yeah.
Rummage is out one that's sort of a dark blackberry-ish color. Pops the cork for Rylan and hands it over. That is, do you want me to roll the 4d4 plus 4, or are you going to do it?
You can just do it. It's all right.
Well, the way I figure it is, I offer because I know what my dice are like compared to the RNG.
Mm-hmm.
And when in doubt, always let the general roll.
Yeah, this is why. So that's 4, 8, 12. That's the total. That's the best you could get.
Literal min-maxing.
16 points of healing, and it tastes like blackberries. It's actually really nice.
Awesome.
You know what? These are pretty spot on, the labels.
Oh, I guess I kind of at least hope that they were using, like, what would they use that tastes like blackberries that wasn't blackberries? I'm sure there's probably something.
From?
No, that shit.
Equidoescent.
Yeah, that shit's from Ambeer, so they're usually for the quality ingredients.
Yeah, it's Equitas, so it would be just literally the divine essence of blackberry at that point. Anything experimental from there is just the purest form of what it is.
I mean, if you need more, we have something that's red that I don't think is strawberry, and something in a really interesting shade of green.
I mean, depending how much longer we're walking for, I'm probably going to need them at some point.
The other thing we could potentially do to save these in case of further emergency is we have a staff.
That's true.
And I'm pulling the Staff of Healing out of the, out of the bag.
And I think everybody else is more or less okay. I mean, beyond... nothing particularly urgent as far as I'm concerned, but they were fixated on you.
Yeah.
They've been hunting wood elves forever. We're the first capital people that just aren't. Of course, I'm not surprised, admittedly.
I'm not surprised either. I'm just pissed off on your behalf, I guess. This is your home. You shouldn't be attacked by bullshit in your own home. That would be that would be like muggers coming into my living room. My old living room. I think if any mugger could get into my living room now, it would be one hell of a mugger.
Yeah, at that point I think it would be a wizard bar none, given the kinds of planar teleportation involved.
Annoyingly, I have a spell that might have helped, but I didn't get a chance to use it because...
Great, googly yikes.
Yeah.
Sure he is. On the other hand, Barnabas, just to say, you didn't even need to use your new tattoo this time.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy about that.
I definitely get why you wanted one. I mean, it was for Charmed, I think, wasn't it?
It was out of character. They both knew it was for Charmed and Frightened. Remy got one. Barnabas got one when he found out what it could do, partially because of the Charmed, but mostly because he'd been paralyzed by being frightened in combat on 3 separate occasions, twice consecutively.
Yeah, or as he puts it, I'm sick of being whammied.
Yeah, so that is the right line of I definitely see why you wanted one.
Okay, Rylan, hold still. I'm going to use the staff to upcast a Cure Wounds to 4th.
Okay. As you're rolling that, Alice says to Ava, I mean, Rika, you do know that we have all the credit with Arcane Inc., right? Do you know... Barnabas knows how much shit that I collected. Oh, yeah. And even if we didn't, I give them 1 or maybe 2 feathers of those ones that Clarity gave me, potentially, depending. And I'd have to tell them that they actually got shed in Avernus, but, you know. Point is that if I promised them 1 or 2 of those, they would give me anything I wanted forever. So if you want one, the next time we're there, we will get you one.
I'll keep it in mind.
right?
Yeah, so that's
21.
14. Yep.
Yeah, that's 21 more on for you. I've already accounted for the amount that I get boosted whenever I heal.
So you got 16, 27. That's all told between healing hands, the health potion, and
47.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
That's what
Yeah,
we're
we need
here.
you not falling apart at the seams.
Anyway, that's what we're here for. Too much bitey. Ow, I know. I get it.
It's always worse when they chew.
Well, I mean, they didn't really have any other options to attack us. Well, I suppose that spider probably did. But then Shreya's butt, it didn't get a chance to move very much.
Yeah, too many legs on that thing. Thank you for making sure it stopped moving. I didn't want to have to resort to the one option I'm never entirely sure is going to work.
A hold monster is somewhat... And doesn't yours only work on people?
I'm not talking about holding it. I'm talking about trying to banish it.
Yeah,
Telling it to fuck off back to where it came from, in the metaphorical.
And Alice is... It's not down to that as far as banishing goes, because... remember my mother banished me? If it's from here, it winds up in a largely empty demi-plane.
Yeah,
It just
still holds it long enough to not have it chewing on people.
Yeah, it sure is. It's just that your devil eel. If it had come from this plane, it would have come back after the minute. It's just if you cast banishment on something that's extra planar, it'll go back to its home plane, and there are some pretty good odds that it will stay there. I'm not sure how these things, looking at the puddles, qualify. I don't know if they're considered of this plane, and if they're not, I don't know if our spells can banish beyond the planes.
At the very least, it would shove it into a box for a duration, so that we wouldn't have to deal with it.
I'm not debating that. It's just one of those arguments that they have at the various academies.
Yeah, I understand bringing it up as a point of things to think about. It's just glad that at the very least we would be just shoving it into a container one way or another.
Sheree looks at Barnabas. You look confused, darling.
No, I'm good. I can see the tactical use of sending something away for a minute, but you got to be sure that's all you're going to need, I guess.
It just means
seems like it's only delaying the.
Darling, you're a former mercenary. You know from tactics. Isn't it always better if you can arrange yourself where you know the enemy is going to be?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because when a banishment wears off, it comes right back to exactly where it went away.
And the thing you're forgetting is that you don't have to wait for it to run down.
Oh, you can unleash it whenever.
Just stop.
Oh.
Then looks at her. We can just stop.
Yeah, you have the better thing that holds harder.
Oh no, I have the other.
You don't even need to stop.
No, you've forgotten. I have the other one too. I banished the
shit,
devil eel.
All of them.
I have.
When we're less gross, I'm hugging you.
Gestures at her secretary-ass self. When something wants to eat my face, my general thing is get it away. Pin it in place, banish it someplace. take the giant hand and force it back. Thunder wave.
Seems a pretty reasonable.
My.
You mentioned that last one.
I've heard the stories.
Oh, you had experiences with that.
Yes.
Anyway,
I've heard, but my battle tactics are summed up to one word: no.
Case in point.
Well,
when I am less gross, I am hugging you.
Well, with the exception of things like Phantasmal Killer, because, well, and Magic Missile, it's a staple, really. But I never much went in on fireballs or anything like that.
From what I've heard, Magic Missile and some of the stuff that's like it is one of the few things that just, it's not even a physical, it's not even an attack from a weapon, it's just a force of oof.
These things still...
Like the hand.
These things still just shrugged it off a bit, though. Everything but Radiant, it seemed to shrug off. I imagine...
I'm surprised they can resist the sheer oof.
To be fair,
That's why I just started stabbing.
That didn't have the same effect as it should have either. It was... Radiant hurt it a lot.
No, but...
Everything else hurt it a little. Yeah. And as far as resisting the
that's why I started stabbing, because I had the Radiant to go with it, at least.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Well, where I was going with that, though, was for Hazel's edification. Agraf sends us papers, and Newton Fitzpatrick wrote a paper about liquids that don't behave like liquids.
That sounds weird, but keep going. I want to know where you're going with it.
He was going on about, there's liquids that behave like liquids are supposed to behave. And he basically codified what a liquid is. But there are some things that behave mostly like liquids, except for one or two places where they don't. And that's why you can't call them liquids, so we've taken to calling them non-Newtonian fluids.
Interesting.
I have a feeling that this soul taint would be classified as a non-Newtonian fluid, but I don't want to put that Lucas individual and Professor Fitzpatrick into a room together, because that would get terrifying.
Good. Understandable, which is... Yeah, so that means that's probably why it's...
Why it resists...
Not obeying the laws of oof.
Or much of anything else. I really hesitate to use necrotic damage on those.
I figure, yeah, if it's not a magic weapon, or something that's just pure radiant blammo, as unto the gods.
No, even the magic, all of your weapons are magical in some way. It was only the radiant that did, in this case, more damage than it should have. Everything from regular weapons to... Well, everything
You're
else
even resistant to magical weapon attacks?
We all have paybacks.
It's magic. It really didn't give a shit about getting hit by it.
It hurt it a little.
Yeesh.
I imagine non-magical weapons wouldn't hurt them at all. And I hesitate to say this, because I really hate the very thought, but Rylan, you have that Blight spell, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I would take it out of your repertoire for the next little while, because I have a feeling that necrotic probably feeds those things.
Way ahead of you.
Very good point.
That's a whole pile of, well, squidge. Because that's... Because usually, when we've encountered things that have, that resists, anything not magical stabbing it, anything magical goes right through it. These things are up a scale from that. Good to know, because now we can, make sure to specifically hit it with certain things, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, at this stage, I'm figuring that you guys have mostly been doing theory crafting with Cherie, and Alice has been sort of off to where Remy is. I mean, I'm not paying very much attention to where you guys are, although I figure all of you have kind of moved away from where the puddles are supposed to be. Because you, Remy and Alice are away from the webs, but still a bit of a distance from you guys. And actually, that's fairly good positioning, because the puddles... You wouldn't think that a non-Newtonian fluid, because this is the first that you guys have ever encountered of it, would move quite so fast and grow quite so much.
Oh no.
You wind up with a wall.
Oh, God.
What the?
What basically separates Alice and Remy from the rest of you.
Oh, no.
Abby looks over her shoulder 2 seconds too late.
Which point, I don't know how far this thing stretches, but we'll meet you at the palace.
Okay.
Eventually.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, we know, but still, good luck.
Yeah, Alice did consider flying over it for all of 5 seconds, but she's kind of worried about being pulled down by tentacles, and that would not be good for anybody.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, in all fairness, this is a contrivance because Noms isn't going to be with us next session, and probably not that weekend, but the following 2 weeks will cover what happened, what adventures they had. After we find out what adventures you had, so we know how to fit everything together. So we'll end it weensy bit early as the rest of the Cupcake Coterie reluctantly leaves Remy and Alice to make their own way through Forest of Soul Taint. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks.